Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Sarah Pavan, an Olympian and beach volleyball world champion and a longtime professional indoor player.
And I'm Adam, former indoor player and coach, current beach volleyball coach, and most importantly, Sarah's husband.
Today we are watching Haikyu Season 2, Episode 5 called Greed. We had the start of the training camp last episode. We met several new schools, a few new characters, not too in-depth, but Lev and Hinata also had a little interaction.
So I think the title of the episode is really interesting. Off the top prediction would be Hinata takes the conversation him and Lev had to heart about a middle being an ace, and now he's a little unhappy being the decoy and he wants to be set a little bit more. That's my, having no idea what's going to happen, take off the title.
Intuitive.
I expect no
deductive
response.
Reasoning.
But I'm interested to see, they went 0-8. Their two young bangers showed up. They won their set. They're going to come out here. I think we're going to see a little more like volleyball against some of the top teams in this episode, so I'm excited to see that. I'm excited to see what they do when teams start to adjust to Hinata a little bit. Who else steps up? What does Tanaka look like? What does Asahi look like? Are we going to see Daichi play a little bit more of a role? Because I think he's going to have to score a little bit. So, yeah, we'll see. I'm excited.
Adam thinks we're in tournament time here. We're getting the literal play-by-play of each player. It's a training camp. So
no, I know, but I think we're gonna see. I think we're gonna see a few more actions from the different players. Make them wrong.
All right. Well, let's dive in. Season 2, Episode 5 of Haikyu is coming right now.
昨日の成績はどうだっけか？
ネコマ戦はこれが
I love that she's got all that data.
相手のはずだ。日向と影山は久しぶりのネコマ戦だよな。ここらで一丁かましてこい。はい。
Right against Lev.
Lev said he would stop the freak quick.
No. He knows he's going to score the first one. Come on!
昨日先生たちに絡んで飲みすぎたな。今何
She slept over?
ナイスレシーブ。
With her eyes closed.
すっげえ。お前に惜しかったぞ。はい。
やはりカラスノの10番、速攻を打つ瞬間目をつむってますね。
What?
あの神業のような速攻の正体はセッターの超絶技巧ってわけだ。
ナイスさんナイスレシーブ。
A から C に飛んだ。
No, he was going to cover it.
Cover it.
Oh, I thought he was going to cover it.
止められた。あの速攻がこんなに速く？
Dang,
前から
right.
ネコマはあの速攻への対処が優れてるからな。加えてあの新入りミドルブロッカーのタッパプラス反応の速さがすげえ。ケンマンナイスー。
Little matrix.
普通の速攻増やしていくぞ。ふわっとのかな。おい、聞いてんのか。おお。BF。多分向こうは普通の速攻をいっぱい使ってくるようになるからリードブロックに切り替えて。
リードブロックって何でしたっ
Oh
け？
boy.
トスがどこに上がるのか見てから飛ぶブロック。
ああ、うっす。
ナイスー。
Kenma. There's not even a play to adjust, he just knows.
トスがどこに上がるのか見てから。
That's a good soft block.
さあワンタッチ。
日向に釣られたと思ったのに。
一歩出遅れてもブロック高い。
チャンスボール。
But he missed it.
まあ落ち着け。
What did somebody call a timeout or something already? It's 3-2.
とりあえず猫間相手には東根田中のレフト中心で攻めてけ。
What just happened to Yachi in the back?
I don't know.
でいいのか俺。弱腰じゃねえのか。
落ち着いて一本取っていこう。
守りに入って進化はあるのか慶心よ。
あざっす。
はい、東根さん。
やばい。なんだこれ。ネコマ、リエフ、強えな。強え。
I like that attitude though. Come on.
強くなんなきゃ。全然勝てない。
カバーカバー。レフト。
ブロック2枚。
Oh wow.
分かった。
I can't believe he dug that.
ナイスカバー。
おい。ラストターム。すま。それ短い。
朝日、ラスト。
おう。
Oh boy. Yeah, he's probably gonna lose that one.
すみません。ついボールだけ見てて、すみません。大丈夫ですか。すみません。すみません。
俺は無傷だよ。
すみません。
おい気をつけろよ。
どうしたって商用が吹っ飛ぶんだからな。
ちゃんと周り見ろボケ。何のための声かけだタコ。
すみません。
ああまあ抑えろ影山。
日向は完全に無意識だろうが今エースへのトスを奪おうとしたように見えた。
I mean, there it is. That's the title of the episode, right there.
I don't think that was your initial reaction watching that though.
What do you mean?
The fact that Hinata was going for that set.
That he was being greedy?
No, that he just didn't understand his place. The first time I watched it, I was mad. Because I was like, he doesn't understand his place. Like, the out-of-system balls belong to the outside. Like, what is he doing? Does he, like, yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I'm not... I mean, it's an inexperienced play. The ball's inside. He thinks he can jump and get there. It's not his ball to hit. I'm not surprised he did that. He's fired up. He was just on the sideline thinking, I need to elevate my game if we're gonna win. And then there's this ball halfway in between positions that he thinks he can jump and hit. Like, I'm not shocked that he went for it, but it's not the right play. And I'm quite frankly surprised he didn't get hurt, given the fact that Asahi looks like he weighs twice as much as Hinata. What? You disagree?
No, I could care less if Hinata gets hurt in that situation.
Well, fair enough.
Like, seriously, it's not your ball.
I agree.
Get away.
I agree.
I don't care what you're trying to do. You're disrupting.
Do you think it's, like you said, it's subconscious, or do you think it's greedy? Like, which part of the mindset do you think plays into that?
Initially, watching it the first time, I said greed 100%, and then I got absolutely chewed apart by everybody.
Okay, so let me ask you this. If he doesn't have that conversation with Lev yesterday, if he doesn't just get blocked by Lev in the middle, go into that timeout and think, I need to elevate my game, do you think he still goes to hit the ball? Because those are the three things that have happened recently that I think affect the decision.
And that is exactly why I thought my initial instinct is that it's greedy, because had he not spoken to Lev, had Lev not put those ideas in his head, he wouldn't have done that.
I agree with you.
And I do think, like, the whole concept of, like, I need to grow and evolve and get better, I don't disagree with that. Absolutely go for it. You need to, sure. But I think the sequence of events that led to this dictate that he's maybe a little misguided right now in what that looks like.
I agree. Greed is maybe the wrong word to use there, but I definitely think that the 3 interactions we discussed affected the decision making in that play for sure.
And as I will say, Hinata aside, as an outside hitter, when you know that that's your job and the middle gets in the way,
run him over.
That's unacceptable,
Yeah, I'd
quite
agree.
frankly.
I'd agree.
だからすに進化の時かそれがチームにとって基地か強かそれでも変化を求めない者には進化もないお前がそれを求めるならばコートの花形であれ英雄であれ勝利を引き寄せるエースであれ貪欲に自分こそが頂点であると言え
I don't agree with that statement. That I agree with.
I think it's a complicated thing, but yeah.
I mean, I think what's shown here is like a very common evolution, right? He's in the right place of wanting to do better, of wanting to contribute more to the team and doing all of that. And you're pushing the limits of what you can do, but in the context of the team and the position he's currently playing, that's not the way to do it. And so, you know, whether it's seeing Little Giant hit out of system balls or the other players that he wants to be like, and again, I personally think that he's going to end up playing on the wing at some point down the road, and that's going to be his job, but right now it's just not.
I think his statement of "I'll stop closing my eyes," 100% yes.
Agreed.
The visual of the mother bird feeding the baby I thought was very appropriate, because that's kind of what's been happening right now.
Yeah.
In that Kageyama is the mom and Hinata is just like taking whatever Kageyama gives him. I do agree that like for his own development that needs to change. For the team's development that needs to change. Do I think that taking what is yours because you need to grow is the answer? Not exactly like that.
And I didn't agree with the statement of like you have to greedily proclaim that you're the star. No, you do that.
And maybe that was a translation thing. I don't know, but like.
To me, that is like going out and doing your job at a high level, whatever that job is. And those roles might evolve, but you don't. That connotation of greedily do that kind of makes me think about like to the hindrance of everybody else. Like that's kind of the way I read that versus, you know, I'm going to do my best and the team is going to come with me kind of deal.
Ore, 目つぶんのやめる。今のままじゃダメだ。俺が打たせてもらう速攻じゃダメだ。
それができなかったから普通の速攻を覚えたんだろう。お前が何考えてんのか知らねえけど話なら後で聞いてやる。でも今すぐお前がそれをやるっつうならミスると分かってるやつにトスあげるつもりはねえ。
ナイスー。
Probably could have been said a little nicer, but
さっきの会話が何かわかんないけど、日向と影山くんがギクシャクし始めたの気のせいじゃないですよね。
ワタッチチャンスボール。
でも日向と影山だけじゃない。日向と東根がぶつかってから全員に緊張が走ってる。
Oh,
おい
今のままじゃダメだ。
うすうす感じていたことを日向に突きつけられたな。
それとも技を吸収すべき死と見るのか。君たちが弱いということは伸びしろがあるということ。こんな楽しみなことはないでしょう。
あざっしゃ
先生みたいで頼もしかったぜ。ありがとな。
ああ、僕一応教師ですけども。
でも試すくらいならいいべ。ほら前回ネコマとやった時もぶっつけで普通の速攻できたわけだしさ。
あの時は普通の速攻ならできる可能性があったし、それしか突破口がないと思ったからです。
正常戦のラスト気づいたら負けてた。気づいた。
I'm not sure I understand what he means by your will is not needed. Like, it's just like, you run and I'll find you? Yeah. I mean, I'm kind of two minds on this whole approach. So, you're in a competitive situation, and Hinata's realizing that what he is doing currently is not good enough. That's a good realization that he needs to come to evolve. He wants to work on it right then and there. But they're in a competitive environment that, as far as I can tell so far, it's kind of special. You don't have a lot of opportunities to do things like this. And so it's like...
But they don't count. The games don't count.
I know they don't count, but how do you weigh, we need to get Hinata further, or our team needs to compete against these better teams? Like, it's that, and I'm thinking from a purely coaching standpoint, it's that balance of like one player growth versus team growth versus, you know, are they going to ride Hinata to championships? Potentially. He needs to get there. It's a tough situation, and I can see Kageyama's point of view.
I can like hearing Hinata, like, he doesn't want to just be a pawn who like doesn't have any accountability or responsibility. Like, I get that.
Yeah.
Like, he got blocked in the end, and Kageyama is the one who has shouldered the blame for that, because he's doing it all pretty much. Hinata's just up there. So I understand that perspective of like, no, I want to be an equal participant in this.
Yeah, totally.
But yeah, it's hard to, like you said, to find that balance, because like right now Hinata's just going rogue. He came up with this realization.
Yeah.
However he came about it, he came up with this realization and is just going for it without anybody else being aware Like,
Yeah.
you know, so yeah, they're like, there's tension on the court. Of course there's tension on the court. Nobody expected that to happen. Like, there needs to be kind of like a ramp up into it, or at least an awareness on everybody's part of what is going on, so that it can be like supported in a good way.
Yeah, and like a defining of roles. Like, Hinata has probably the highest ceiling of the hitters, but to just decide that you're gonna hit those out of system balls when that's Asahi's job, like, of course there's gonna be tension there. As the outside hitter, you're like, what are you doing? Like, let me do my job. So it's interesting, and you have players wanting to step up, but stepping on other people's toes, and it's gonna definitely be a dynamic that needs to be managed and talked about.
I mean, yeah, in theory, sure, it makes sense. I can't argue with the theory behind it, but putting something like that into practice in an actual team environment is not as straightforward as like, just let them do it.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like, there are a lot of moving parts, and it's not that straightforward.
Yeah.
In real life.
Totally agree.
影山は感情的に否定してるんじゃない。ただ事実を言ってる。
As he does.
ごめん日向。俺も今影山の意見聞いてたら、今回は影山の言うことが正しいと思ったよ。あの速攻は十分すごい。あれを軸に他の攻撃を磨いていくのがベストなんじゃないかな。
ああ、俺も菅原派だな。
向井さん。
自分で戦いたいって言っても変人速攻はほんの一瞬勝負。あの一瞬を空中でどうこうしようってのも正直難しい話だと思うぜ。
でも調子がいい時はスローモーションみたいに。
スローモーション見たく相手のブロックが見えることがあんだよ。こうスーッと光が通ったみたいに。
I will say that is rare.
速攻を決めた時も向こう側が見えました。てっぺんからの景色が見えました。
だからそれはそんな気がしたってことなんじゃ。
He doesn't get it. I just want to point something out about that. I find that interaction very interesting. And I actually had a similar experience with you. In that, so I was a decent college player, but I was never great. And again, you have moments of this, but I remember when I went out to train with you the first time, I don't know if you remember this, you were heading off to your pro season.
I think you've told this story before.
Okay, anyway, the way that you see and process information wasn't something that I couldn't comprehend because I hadn't experienced as an athlete. And it's tough. I believe that Hinata means what he says. He saw those things, and Ukai probably never experienced that, and it's like, oh, did you mean this, or you thought you said, and he just isn't connecting. That's the hardest part about working with, we'll call them quote unquote special athletes, or people who play at that level. I thought that interaction was really interesting. Anyway.
Yeah, I don't deny that Hinata is experiencing that, but I do know that it is rare. Most attackers can see the blockers.
Yeah.
It's not many can see the blockers and what's happening behind them.
Yeah. And to be that specific, like I saw his eyes, yeah, it's cool.
成田、
はい。
次日向と変われ。
はい。
お前のやりたいことをどうするかはともかく、今日は一旦頭を冷やせ。今の状況で試してもうまくいくとも思えねえし、またさっきみたいな接触プレーで怪我されたらたまらんからな。
It's a tough decision, but it's the right decision.
I think they can work on it when they're alone to like ease it.
Yeah. おっしゃ
ナイスキー DF
オーライ
カバーカバ
ナイスサール一本ナイスありがとうございました
次は再来週夏休みの合宿だな。
はい、よろしくお願いします。
ここからが本番でね。春高予選前最初で最後の長期合宿だ。
はい。
1週間毎晩飲みに付き合ってもらうからな。
はい。
Hey, we're gonna have some drinks, don't worry about it.
そっちも3年全員残ったんだな。
お、そっちは2日目に去年の優勝校と当たったんだろ。インターハイ予選。日向に聞いた。
ああ、ベスト8止まりだ。
東京都のベスト8とかすげえな。
勝ち残んなきゃ意味ねえよ。
そうだな。
またな、日向。次も止めてやる。
負けねえし、194センチに163センチが勝ってやるよ。
Ubugawa guy, stop it.
That is a true
今
scene.
回は本当にいい合
Passed
宿でし
out
た
on the
ね。
bus.
いろんな課題を見つけられた気がします。
まあ全部持ち帰って一個ず
See,
つクリアしてい
this
かない
is
と
an
いけな
opportunity
いけ
for
どな。
Hinata to work on his stuff now that they're
寮
going
に
home.
帰ってじっくり考えましょう。
帰るか。
鵜飼君？
帰るっていや厄介な身内が帰ってくるんだよな。
Can I stay with you?
はい、皆さん、お疲れ様でした。で、明日はお伝えしてた通り、体育館に点検作業が入るので、部活はお休みです。このところ休みなしでしたので、ゆっくり休んでください。
影山、トスあげてくれよ。
It's like midnight.
They can't practice tomorrow.
あれ、二人はまだ帰らないの？
やちさん、よかったらちょっとだけボール出してくれない？
私にできる？
影山の頭上に山なりのボール投げるだけ。
やってみる。
Tossing's not as easy as it
No,
looks.
it's actually really hard.
This better be a disaster.
So bad at it. This is the environment to work on it.
100%.
ジャンプじゃない。
もう一回。
Looks like Lev.
He doesn't understand the timing.
Yeah, it's really interesting. Again, we kind of talked about this before, but like, you do things on instinct and you're good at them, and then you add in additional information and you can't do it.
The brain does funny things.
Sometimes good, sometimes bad.
I understand why people are so behind Hinata in this instance. I mean, Hinata's probably the character that like the average person relates to in Haikyu.
Sure.
So I get it. I get the attachment and the empathy for his experience. But this is not. This is high level sport, okay? So I would just say cut us some slack before you type away at your keyboards about how wrong we are and we don't get it.
Well, I mean, I think that this is a prime example of the difference between being in an environment like this and understanding this and watching from the outside. Like for me, this moment is like a fan, program, coach, player. Like this is where the differentiation is, right? You look at that player, you love that player, you want that player to succeed, but you don't see everything else that goes into it. You're focused solely like this on that player, and then you have the staff who are looking at, okay, what strings do we need to pull across the board to get where we need to go, and how does that go? I honestly like that decision by Ukai. I think it was the right one, and
yeah. It's honestly dangerous to make those kind of adjustments in a live situation, and I think that he was right that somebody could get hurt. What they're doing now,
100%.
Absolutely.
Well, and to be honest, this is what you want from a coaching standpoint. This is what you want to see from your athletes, right? I want to get better. I want to be a game changer. I wouldn't change that about anything, but your job as a coach is to sometimes rein that in and point it in the right direction. And that was the case in this moment, and I think it was handled well.
できるかわかんねえ攻撃を繰り返すより今までの攻撃とかサーブとかブロックとか他にやること山ほどあんだろうが。
でも俺はこの速攻が通用しなきゃコートにいる意味がなくなる。
だからこの速攻にお前の意思は必要ないって言ったんだ。俺がブロックに捕まんないトスを上げてやる。
それじゃあ俺はうまくなれないままだ。
春高の一次予選は来月だ。
離せ！トス上げてくれるまで離さない！ざけんな！あの速攻止められたじゃねえか！お前、正常戦も！
てめえ、俺のトスが悪かったって言いたいのか？
違う！そうじゃない！完璧だった！ドンピシャだった！なのに止められた！俺が今のままじゃ上にはもう通用しないんだ！おい！ お前らやめろ
！Elbow burn.
?取っ組み合いの喧嘩って合宿の時からギクシャクしてたからな、あいつら。
春高予選も近いのに大丈夫なんすかね。
でもさ、あいつらの喧嘩って今に始まったことじゃない。
Daichi, not worried about it.
そういや、あいつら入部届出す前から喧嘩してましたよね。
そうなの？初日から教頭のカツラ吹っ飛ばすわ。大地に体育館締め出されるわで大変だったよな。
まあ確かにそういうのをいろいろ乗り越えてきたわけだし
な。だからさ、俺たちは信じて待とう、あいつらを。
毎度。
Time to do some thinking.
中で日向が自分の意志で裁くことができたら。いやできるがんなもん机上の空論だろう。でももしもできたらあのコンビは小さな巨人を持って空中戦の覇者となる。いらっしゃいって日向か。
コーチ、俺はどう練習すればいいですか？
Okay, I'm just gonna say, as a middle, your dependence on the setter is much higher than it is for other positions. So, because of the whole timing thing, like you're coming in so fast. Whereas like an outside, you can tell them to set you high, wait, and then go get it. Like, because of the nature of the middle, the dependence on the setter is higher. By Hinata working on his timing and his eyes open and stuff, I really think the max that he'll be able to do is see the court layout in front of him to help him decide where he wants to place his attack instead of just going straight, which is a huge asset, but I think that the like amount of player control as a middle is not necessarily as high as it is for the outsides, because the connection is so much tighter with the setter.
Yeah, I agree with you, but I do think that two things. One, the skill of being able to track the ball and hit it where you want will help him overall in that, which I think is important. The other thing too is, like, to me, if you watch the blocks that happened when he was running the free quick, because he's only hitting straight, they've got one hand in that seam. Like, if he can see that and either go like outside off that hand, because the block is at that fast, it's compromised, it's not solid. So it's like those 1 or 2 points that maybe he has a way to do that can help.
That's exact. I mean,
yeah,
I said that. I'm just saying, like, his timing is critical. The connection with the setter is critical. Sure, he'll be able to hit it, control it more where he wants, perhaps, but it's not like he will still be dependent on the setter by the nature of his position. That is what I'm saying.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair.
He can't be like just a complete independent entity, because middles are not like that because of the speed that they run their attack. You see it all the time. If the setter isn't capable, the middle connection's non-existent.
Yeah, no, that part's fair. That part's fair. I think, executing against those highest level teams, that's the part that will kind of set him apart in those situations. But I would agree with you. And they're gonna have to figure out their relationship. They're gonna have to find a way to work together again. Kageyama's gonna have to have a little patience with him as he tries to figure this out and he tries to work on that. And I think that Ukai's gonna have to step in and make Kageyama set him and be like, because Kageyama's not wrong, right? His goal, I gotta make the team win. I gotta set the right person. But he's gonna have to understand that there's gonna be a process for Hinata learning, and he's gonna have to have the patience to work with him to get him to that point. And I think it's gonna take some intervention, either by Daichi or by Ukai. But we'll see.
Heated topic.
I like it.
Topic.
I like that episode. I thought it was real is the wrong word, but I mean, that kind of stuff definitely happens.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure you guys are frantically typing your thoughts, because I know you're very passionate about this episode and about this whole concept in general. So I know you have thoughts to share. If you haven't already, let us know what they are. And we'll see how this progresses. As always, I would be so excited if you would like this video, subscribe to my channel, and let's see if our boys can become partners again, because the dynamic duo needs to stay intact.
True.
Okay, thanks guys. We'll see you next time.